Hi, I'm Ashmedi from Melechesh, and you're watching Impact Channel.
Greetings, we are here with Ashmedi from Melechesh. Hello, nice to see you again.
Hey man, always a pleasure.
That's what it's for us.
Yeah.
How is the tour so far in Belfagor?
Oh, it's good. It's chilled out. It's not very long tour. It's 2 weeks, and we're reaching the end of it. So yesterday we had a day off in Slovenia. Before that we had like 3 dates in Italy, and now we're coming to these regions here. You know, always a pleasure to be back.
Your last record, Anki, was released in 2015. Are you working on the new material now?
Yes, I'm writing, but I don't pressure myself too much. Don't forget, we tour a lot. And it's like you're either going to have this or that. Touring a lot is sometimes not the best thing for focusing on writing new material because you're involved with the older material. And I'm already writing. There's a lot of material, by the way. I think when I start predicting when it's going to happen is when I start making pre-production demos. And I think this summer I'm going to start doing those to see how everything is looking.
Do you have any vision for the new album? Any concept or?
Well, you know, Melechesh itself is a concept. You know, it's a broad concept. So I don't limit it to a single subject, but there is a domain, and we go many corners in that domain. You know, so it's going to be the same mixing occult Sumerian mythology, a little bit of the Anunnaki theory, and other cultures too within the domain of Melechesh. So I have an idea who's going to be recording and who's going to be mixing, but it's too soon because let's just finish the demos and then we'll start having more concrete news where we're going to be doing it.
Yeah, right. So it has been widely known that you are interested in the ancient cultures and mythologies. What are the most important values and lessons that you have learned from these ancient civilizations?
I look at things with metaphor, sometimes, and also there's a lot of balance. It's not black and white. I think that's more natural than trying to fit a triangle in a square. You know what I mean? Like it's more balanced. However, there's also always this metaphor or stuff are told. If you look at it in a different way, it does have a different meaning. Like the whole we always talk about the deities that they talk about perhaps are simply more advanced people from somewhere else. But I always find that interesting. It's something that fascinates me.
Culture and science-wise, some of these civilizations were extremely developed and progressive to their ages. What do you think? Where did this come from, this knowledge?
Either they had common sense and no agenda of suppression, like they do in school here. They always teach you to be the oil for the machine, not to own the machine. You know what I mean? So maybe there they had common sense, or like I said, maybe they were assisted, because they were very advanced, and then after that there were periods where civilizations were very dull, and went down.
Middle Ages, yeah.
Yeah, and I wonder why. I wonder what suppression happened then,
If you could represent humanity to an intelligent alien race with any kind of artwork or piece of art, what would you choose and why?
It wouldn't be one thing, because there's too much good stuff. There's from music to visual art to architecture. These 3 things can be massively impactful on how people think, and you can show what we're capable of. But also medicine and even culinary arts, how you can, from necessity, create pleasure also. So, I think you'll have to have a tour with this alien, showing him, good restaurants, good architecture, good music, also technology and medicine, and that together gives you not like, oh, here is a Leonardo da Vinci drawing. Mona Lisa, you see, we're amazing. You know, that doesn't really, it doesn't work like that.
And when you're listening to your own music, what kind of images cross your mind?
Now, usually when I'm writing and I'm listening, I have it's like a movie, really. You go places that I'm very grateful for it, because I don't have to, like, I don't have to wait for a movie to see many interesting scenarios and locations that are still not made. So the music really does do that to me. But also I do see the music, rock and roll aspect of it too, the live, and sometimes I see the stressful moments of doing it. So I'm like, fuck it.
If you could summon a historical person and a mythical creature, a mythological creature for a chat, who would you pick and why?
I never pick one person. Again, I am not a very, what do you call it, black-white. There's many, I can't. When someone tells me the apple or the orange, I feel like, shut up and give me both, or how about the banana, So, a mythological creature, I always fascinated with the winged bull. Why? Because it's just the amalgamation of different creatures into one. I wonder why, and also maybe there were just fancy spaceships with very ornamental decorations, so that I personally like it very much. But as a person, there's too many, why would I put, let's say, Einstein over a great emperor over a great doctor? You can't. One, you can't.
How about two?
No, stop with the numbers. 777. Let's start. So there is one, and then like you cut out and you go 776.
Right. Do you have any favorite symbol, something that represents your personality?
Yeah, I guess. Circle. I mean, there's more intricate symbols, but the circle, you just, life is a circle. You're born, you die, it's a journey, and I find I'm comfortable with it.
Like the Ouroboros symbol?
Yes, eternity. I like that very much. But then again, because I have ADHD, sometimes I need defined angles, so I like squares. I'm like, oh, it won't fall off. It's clear angles, I can see everything, so I'm comfortable, I can breathe. 10-pointed star, I feel it's balanced. So again, not one symbol, but multiple symbols, just like there are multiple truths. See what I mean? You can't pick one.
Okay, so let's talk about you a little bit. What were you like as a kid? How was your childhood?
Yeah, it's okay. I mean, on the one hand, it wasn't the easiest. On the other hand, I was lucky to have a lot of friends, and the weather was good, and so we had a lot of outdoor. When I see sometimes in Central Europe or Northern Europe, it's all institutions. To play football, you go to the football place. But it's not improvised and do whatever you want. It has to be defined from ahead of time, and indoors a lot. So, we had that. I traveled a lot, so that was good. I did not particularly enjoy that Catholic school I was in because they were more about suppression than development. And I noticed that from the beginning.
Yeah, you mentioned it before.
Yeah, and I will keep on saying it, and it doesn't change. Till now when I pass there, I look at it like beautiful building, terrible concept. And I see students go in and out. I'm like, wow, I feel sorry for them. But then again, at least they get some sort of education better than people who can't go to school at all. So yeah, I had some hard times. There were a few political upheavals that affect people's lives and put them in dangerous situations. but also good memories. Traveled to many countries. I'm lucky to have done that, so I won't complain too much. Growing up with a single parent who was very busy, owning the business, running the business, and she herself is in a foreign country. That was a challenge for everybody, but we had everything we needed.
That's the point.
Yeah.
And what was the first band that got you into rock music or metal music?
There's a lot of in the house, playing the music. There was anything from Beatles to Foreigners and Eagles. So it's guitar, drums, So I like that stuff. I like the drums and the guitar riffs, especially in the Eagles albums. Then, gradually with the friends and the family members, cousins, I got into the Exploited, Troops of Tomorrow LP, Shout to the Devil, Motley Crue, and even I remember that I remembered song, I mentioned it a few days ago, Invaders, it's called. It's from Number of the Beast. Because we were kids playing war, the song was cool, and we had G.I. Joes as well, their soldiers. So it kind of like started really early on with gimmick to our toys and stuff, and then you start getting more and more into music as you get older, So yeah, these are the things that really got me, and then the heavy stuff came with the thrash metal. I was fascinated.
And what was your first instrument? Do you remember that?
Oh, guitar. First one was terrible. It was a fake one. I made it up. There was a piece of wood that looked like a James Hetfield guitar, and I put threads like string, but it didn't play obviously. But it beats air guitars. And then I saved up a lot of money. $70. For a kid, it's a lot of money. And I bought it from a pawn shop or something. I bought a pawn shop, not a pawn shop. A very old guitar, and I was like saying Dave Mustaine, James Hetfield, Dave Mustaine, James, the shape.
Yeah.
I went with the James Hetfield shape.
Was it the Explorer?
Yeah, it's a really old Hondo Explorer. And then lo and behold, now I play Flying V's only, it's not an image thing, but it's a practical thing. The shape helps me play. So, but anyway, yeah, that was my first real guitar, And I don't have it anymore.
Oh. And the first album you bought?
Bought like with money, probably Ride the Lightning cassette. Bought because I had an Explorer LP, my friend gave it to me. Motley Crue, my friends gave them to me. So if I went to a shop, I think it was Ride the Lightning album on cassette. I bought it.
And the last one?
Oh, I don't know. Because now I'm in the industry, I get everything for free. Seriously, everything I want, I can get it. So I don't remember when it's the last time I purchased an album. Don't remember. Maybe 20 years, 15 years ago, 20 years ago.
What was the first song you learned to play?
Nothing. Till now, I don't know how to play anything.
You never did?
No, I Smoke on the Water because it was easy. Everybody knew how to play, and I think I never bothered with covers really because I just wanted to make my own songs. Much later, I managed to play Painkiller by Judas Priest. It made me feel good to play that till now. But I never really was the guy who started learning all the covers, and then I just started making noise, till and then discover you have to tune the guitar. Very primitive. I never took lessons or anything, so it's a very primitive way of learning guitar.
What was the first concert you went to?
First professional concert, honestly, because don't forget, in Jerusalem, there wouldn't be much professional shows and stuff, but first real gig, I'm proud to say, it was a Slayer Seasons in the Abyss tour, and with Testament opening for them for their Souls of Black tour. I was in Miami.
Was it the Clash of the Titans?
No, it's half a year before that, or a year before that. So I was there. And it was in Miami, and it was the second night, because the first night was sold out, so the club was half full. So I had a perfect sound, but not too busy club. And I think I was 16.
I was 5.
Yeah, well, And I was very happy there was Gulf War #1 because it got me the opportunity to leave Jerusalem, go to Miami, and get to see Slayer. You know, so I was very happy to do that. But the rest are like small bands and stuff I saw that didn't really count. You know, but this was real, and I'm like, I couldn't imagine how good the sound was. I'm like, how could you do that live? It's not a studio, but it was really good. And you know, that was the classic Slayer with the, you know, nails like this from Kerry King in the hair, the motocross shoes of Jeff Hanneman, the Eagles sign everywhere, and what's his name? Dave Lombardo. His hair is everywhere. So it was the Slayer to see, you know.
Awesome.
Yeah, it was till then like every song was insane. The show was insane. So I was very happy to see that.
And the first show as a musician?
Oh, I don't remember really.
Okay.
Like as a guy who's like since I'm a musician, to go watch band play, you mean, or
As a performer, I mean.
as a performer?
Yeah.
Oh, it was. Also, I was 16 or 17. I was a singer in a death metal band in Jerusalem. So I went on stage and started growling.
What was the name of the band?
Don't want to tell you. No, it was called Crush and Cenotaph. We made a demo and we had a manager, small league. I performed locally, and you know, it was actually cool. We used to pack the house, you know, like 200-300 people used to come every time we played, you know. So it was not bad experience.
Talking about Slayer, many of the bands have retired recently.
Yeah.
Are going to retire or died out, literally, unfortunately.
Yeah.
What do you think? How will this affect the metal scene in the near future?
Yeah, you know, like, we don't remember the names of black and white silent movie actors. Things change. Rock will always be there. There'll always be bands. Metal, luckily, they do have the revering the old gods, so they will never be forgotten, ever. And yeah, there's a lifespan to everything, you know. It makes sense. Like, what's going to happen? Well, what, 50 years from now? All these bands won't be around, you know. So
That's right.
I'm not. I wish alive, but I mean, as a band, you know. Maybe there's going to be technology. Maybe there's going to be franchising. But definitely there'll be a lot of other bands coming, you know. And we'll see if there'll be quality or not. There'll always be quality, actually, but what numbers, I don't know. Very interesting to see.
Melechesh has been around for more than 25 years now. If you could pick the bands for a Melechesh tribute album, who would you like to hear to cover your songs?
Beyonce. No. I don't know. I mean, that's pretentious of me. But to think of who should be covering us. But actually, basically, it'll be bands who have completely different sounds. To see how that song would turn out. And I wouldn't even want it to be a cover with more adaptation. Then I'm like, wow, that's an interesting point of view they did. I can learn from that, you know. But to have bands just because their name is XXX to play the exact song, it's easy to do. But if you get bands that are so different from each other, covering or adapting your songs, yeah, that would be nice. But I wouldn't put names, you know.
All right. Do you have any funny tour story to share with us?
Always. There's always crazy stuff happening. I mean, always. It's like, I don't know now where to start because it's too many. Once in the States, we went, I don't know where, just to walk, drunk, after our show. And then when we came back, you know these slow-moving city freight trains?
Yeah.
Because it's in the city, very slow. And they were like platforms, empty. So me and the drummer just jumped on one and laid down and started falling asleep. No wallet, nothing, no one knows where we are. And I'm like, I think we gotta wake up. Otherwise, I don't know where we're gonna end. So I'm pushing it, wake up, we come there, we jumped off the train and found, it was like, probably like 1 mile away and we had to walk back. But imagine we actually fell asleep, woke up, no wallet, you know, because when you're on tour, you know, the bus is there, there's everything. You walk out, maybe you have 20 bucks in your pocket if you want to buy a pack of cigarettes or whatever, you know. So that was really, yeah. Stupid. There's many like that stories. Alcohol, rock and roll, everybody becomes like a little kid, and then the funny shit starts happening.
I can see that.
Yeah, a lot. Every time, every tour, like there's always something.
What are your plans for this year?
I want to do the demos, and then we have to do some more shows, but not this summer. Like starting September, there's some shows probably going to Turkey, Georgia, Armenia. You know, like Turkey, we haven't actually performed there ever. We recorded there, we never performed there, so that's going to be interesting. We got some shows probably South America and stuff like that, as far as I remember. And yeah, do more demos, and hopefully within this time next year, hopefully we would either have a set date for the studio or be in the studio. And then we can have a totally different interview about the albums.
Alright, good luck on that.
Yeah, I appreciate that.
Any last words to your fans?
I want your liver. Mine is getting old. No, guys, never give up on music. Keep coming to concerts, and thanks for watching.
Thank you for the interview.
My pleasure.